Okay, so let's do a special breathing thing for you. Um, so get yourself set up in your chair. You know the drill, like a fist worth of space behind you in the back of the chair. I think because you've been doing this with me, the blanket, either put it under your feet or under your hips if you need to, to make sure that your knees are even with your hips. And align yourself so that your ribs are over your hips, which are over, shoulders over ribs, and your head's on straight. And I always love to plan to talk about something. If I would have known it was your birthday, I would have thought of that something else. But my plan today was to talk about in yoga the drishti. And I might have mentioned this before, but drishti is your gaze and where you're looking. And in yoga, in teacher training, we're taught about how to cue a pose, right hand out, and how to do that. And we start with the rooted part of the body, so the feet, when you're teaching a yoga class and you're learning to cue, and you end with always where the drishti is or where the gaze is, so that in warrior two, your body might be facing forward, but your gaze is over your front fingers. So it's really an important piece of yoga. And it's one of those Sanskrit words. So I'm not a big person when it comes to Sanskrit, because I feel like none of my yogis that take classes with me are going to understand if I call all the yoga positions by their name. But when it comes to gaze, it's drishti is a pretty good word. So about the gaze, especially in a balancing pose. So when we get out of the chair later and we're in tree or we're balancing, it's really important to find your drishti, or where your focus point for your gaze is, because it helps you balance. And when we cue a pose, we always cue the drishti, so gaze over your fingers. And we always say gaze, not stare or look or focus on, because in yoga, when you're focusing on a point, so if you're standing in tree and we say find a point that you can have your gaze at to focus on so that you can maintain balance, the drishti or the gaze should be soft, so that you basically are just, your eyes are pinpointed, but you're going internal. And it's almost like the peripheral view is what's important. You might be laser focused on one spot on the wall, but you're softly gazing so that everything else is available to you too. And I was thinking about how in life that's important, because here I am and I take my walks outside every day, and sometimes I'm laser focused on my surroundings, and sometimes I am on my phone. That's a whole other story, but it's really important to have that soft gaze so that you take in what's around you, because you're always surprised. And sometimes being that focused on whether it's mentally focused or visually focused, you lose sight of the other things around you. So in yoga, the drishti is important, because drishti is a soft gaze, and it's not just about a laser focus on one thing, but you want to see everything around you. Anyway, that's my piece of wisdom. And we're going to breathe today, and we're going to focus on the drishti in our yoga today. We'll start with a 4-part box breath. So this is a really good breath, especially to do if you want to relax. I don't think I've ever done it in chair before, because I try not to have people hold the breath, because I know that we have some very elderly people, but Marcia, you're only 65, so you can do this. So we're going to breathe in through the nostril for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, hence a 4-part breath, a box breath. I'll do
When
it
I'm
with
trying to
you,
fall
and I'll
asleep
count.
at night with difficulty falling asleep, I do breathe in for 7, hold for 5, and breathe out for 8.
That's
That's supposed to
great.
sleep.
That's supposed to relax you. And I was going to say that this will also relax you, but it relaxes you more. The reason that's really good is it relaxes you more when the exhale is a little bit longer than the inhale. But a box breath is also a very relaxing breath. So it's another thing to have in your toolbox. So hands relaxed on your legs, could be palms up, which shows openness and gratitude, could be palms down, whatever is really comfortable for you. And we're going to breathe in through the nostril for 4. So Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do this 3 more times. So breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. You can count. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was fast. 3, 4. Anyway, feel your natural breath again. Take a deep one. The breath is so important, and you can sort of hack your own biology through the breath. But I love that you do that, Marcia, that you take a long exhale when you're trying to fall asleep. They also say the belly breathing deeply into the belly, just in and out without counting, is also a good one for sleeping. And when I can't fall asleep, I just pay attention to the tip of my nose, the breath going in and out that way, kind of puts you to sleep also. So we'll start with a little bit of warm up. Let's take our hands and bring them up over our heads and raise our torso as we sink our hips into the chair to get some extra space in the spine. And relax. And then take your left wrist into your right hand as we lean. So you want to make sure that your torso is facing center. You're not collapsing. You might want to take that left hand, open up the rib cage. Inhale first and get tall. Exhale, release to a side stretch on the right hand side. So we're compressing on the right and stretching on the left. And breathe here. So every time you inhale, you get long and strong. And every time you exhale, you relax into the pose. And your drishti is straight ahead with a soft gaze. Come center and just switch hands. And this time, as you inhale, get long and strong and sink the hips as you raise the torso. And then as you exhale, relax into a twist on the left. Breathe here. Come back to center, put your hands on your knees, and then we're going to slide your hands down as we bend at the hip crease into a forward bend. And you're going to breathe here, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And as you take the breath out, let yourself relax and just relax onto your thighs if that's available to you. Inhale, come back up and put your hands behind you towards the back of the chair as we lean back, not at the waist, but at the hip crease. And actually, if you can, if this works for your body, you want to lengthen as you inhale, and then as you exhale, bring the back bend a little bit back up by your shoulder blades. So your shoulders are back, your elbows are reaching towards each other, your chest is wide, your drishti or your gaze is up at the ceiling. Your neck is following the line of your spine. So you're not really tossing the head back, but just gazing up, and your shoulders, if anywhere is bending, it's in the upper back. And come back to center. Take your right hand, bring it behind you onto the back of the chair. Your left hand comes to the outside of your right knee. Before you twist, inhale, get tall, and exhale, look over that right shoulder. Again, inhale, get tall and strong, and exhale, relax over the right shoulder for a twist. Cross your hands in the front and bring your left hand behind you as your right hand is on the outside of the left knee. Inhale through the nostrils, raise up your torso, sink your hips into the chair, feel your hip bones in the chair as you get a little taller and stronger. And then as you exhale, release and relax as you look over the left shoulder. And do the same thing with the next inhale and exhale. And come back to center. We'll do a little cat-cow. So hands are on your knees. As you inhale, you're going to bring the navel or the belly out towards the knees. Push the tailbone out and away from you and look up where the wall and the ceiling, so your drishti, your gaze is up where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then as you exhale, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to rainbow the back and take the navel and bring it towards the spine so that your back is rounded as you tuck the chin. And you're just going to do that with the breath to warm the spine up. So the inhale is your belly comes forward, and the exhale is your navel comes towards the spine. And come to center. We'll work the shoulders a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder shrugs. So first, just bring your shoulders up to your ears and tense them up there. So that's where they shouldn't be in life. Relax them. That's where they should be. So we're going to just do some shoulder circles. Bring the shoulders back and forward and do that 3 or 4 times. And then go into the opposite direction. Come to neutral, and we're going to do a little bit of torso circles. So bring you're bending at the hip crease, not at the waist, but you're going to lean forward over the right knee. And as you circle up in the front of your body, you're going to inhale. And as you lean back, straight spine, your neck is not bent, your spine is long up through your neck, you're going to exhale. So it's easy to remember about the breathing. You inhale in the front as you're leaning forward, and you exhale as you lean back, always through the nostrils. And then when you come over your right knee, which is where we started, we're just going to go in the opposite direction, but you're going to remember to just also exhale as you lean back. We won't confuse anything. And inhale as you lean forward, but you're in the opposite direction. And come to neutral. Let's bring our hands out in front of us, your fingers webbed, your wrists are, you're pressing palms against an imaginary wall for web. Breathe here, stretch those fingers out, claw your fingers into claws, which is great for the joints, and then make some beaks. So use that thumb, use your fingers. First, you can try to move the fingers towards the thumb, and then try the thumb towards the fingers. And then fists, as if you're punching a wall. Really tight. So I was flipping channels and Dr. Oz was on, and he talked about the strength of your hands being an indicator. You know what? Give your fists a little bit of a wrist action up and down right here. And he talked about taking a towel and wringing it out in the sink as an exercise. And it made me think how important these things that we're doing here are for the strength of your hands. Supposedly there's some kind of correlation, and I know that at times I have trouble opening a water bottle. We all have to work on our hand strength. Let's take our legs. Marcia, I don't know whether you have a strap or not. Do you have a strap?
No.
Okay,
but
so I won't use.
But I did get a block.
Oh, thank you for my blocks are still. I use my blocks. By the way, blocks are a great tool. It's only you and me right now for raising your laptop up so that when you're on a Zoom call, it's like at the right height. So I use my blocks to raise, when I'm not teaching yoga, they're on my desk. So I have to go grab one after. But let's take our right foot. Let's first hug it to the chest.
Yeah, this is
and then bring it. Okay, I know. And this is so important. So maybe we'll spend a little time.
But I'm doing
here.
better. I'm doing better. You
Good.
can actually see me.
You know what? I'm going to switch the view so I'm not seeing myself so big since it's only the two of us, and move it to gallery view. There we go. So can you raise your leg to your chest?
Not quite yet. I mean, sort of.
Okay, well, keep working on it. So
Yep.
Do it where you can. You bend the knee, and then we're going to take the leg, and I won't use a strap either, although I'm going to suggest that for next week, you find a belt in your closet, a husband's belt or a scarf, because I think for you, it might be a really great prop, because you can wrap it and then your hands are not like your hands are looser and they're not working so hard, and you can get that leg straight out. So bring the leg out. You might want to hold it. I'm holding my leg right above the knee because I don't want to stretch down. I don't want to be leaning forward. I want to still be sitting tall. So take your leg, stretch it out, flex the foot and point the foot. Just keep flexing the foot and pointing the foot. And then see if you can flex it and lift it a little higher and then a little lower. Bring it up and down a little. How's that working for you?
Yeah, I'm limited in my space here in the kitchen. That's part of the problem. So I'm going to turn to the side so I have more room to my leg out.
Okay.
I can see how a strap would be beneficial.
Yeah, you know what? It really sort of takes some of the pressure off your hands for holding up the leg. So it really would work. Okay, so let's do the other leg. Are you ready for the other leg?
Yeah.
Take the left leg. Let's see if you can hug it a little bit to the chest, wherever you can get it. And then when you're ready, stretch it out straight, holding the leg, you know, where it's comfortable for you, but you can maintain sort of your alignment. So for me, it would be like above my knee. And you're going to flex and point the foot. And then after you do that for a little while, see if you can lift the leg, even if it's only a few inches up from the chair where it is. As you press it, it might be easier if you press the right foot into the chair and lift the leg. It might help you in terms of not into the chair. I'm sorry, the right foot into the floor. So the focus, your mental focus, your body focus is on the right foot pressing into the floor, which might give you a little bit more lift in the left leg. Okay, so did you say that you do have a block now, Marcia?
I do.
Okay, so take a block and place it between your legs right above your knee, like while you're sitting in the chair, and squeeze. You can hold on to the chair, the sides of the chair with your hands, and see while you're squeezing, press the left foot into the floor while you're squeezing. So you're focused on the squeeze and the left foot pressing, and then lift the right foot. See if you can get that right foot up while you're squeezing, even if it's only a little bit off the ground. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay, good. And then both feet press into the ground, then shift your mental, attention to the right foot pressing into the ground, and let's lift the left.
It's a good one I can work on.
Yeah, and this is, you can do this anytime. Take the block and do this. This is really great for strengthening the thighs and, being able to lift that leg more on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, and remove the block for now, but keep it handy. And we'll do a sun salutation to start. So take a deep breath, align yourself. Inhale, hands come up to the sky, and we look up at the hands. Happy birthday, Marcia. Exhale, release the hands, come down, hands on your knees. Bring your feet out in front of you as you slide down. The bend is at the hip crease. With an exhale for forward bend, bring your hands halfway up to your knees with a flat back. Take your shoulders back. So take your shoulders, round them back for a flat back. And then exhale, come back down. Inhale, come up. Hands are out in front of you. So it's all these movements that we did in the warm up. And bring your feet up to the balls of the feet. So it's as if you're in a plank pose. And now you can put some energy into the arms and into the feet. You press the ball of the foot into the floor. Then lift the hands up and let the feet come, the soles of the feet come down so that you're in a down dog. So down dog, we're leaning forward with a flat back as our hands are up, as if we could tip over and be on the floor. We'd be in a V shape, which is down dog. Come back, hands on knees, slide your hands down, bend at the hip crease as you exhale into forward bend. Inhale, come halfway with a flat back. So you take your shoulders back a little bit. Exhale, come back down. And as we inhale, we take our arms and reverse swan dive them up. Your drishti or your gaze is up at your hands. And actually at this point, slight back bend. Now, when we say a back bend, you're not bending at the lower back or the waist. You're actually taking the shoulders, and it's very minute, but you're like leaning them back towards the back of the room, just a little bit, so that it's actually the chest that's lifting forward and the back bend comes from the chest. And then release, hands come to your knees. Take your legs and spread them wide. And you can come a little bit to the edge of the chair. Take your block, have it handy. Your heels are in towards each other and your toes are splayed out. Put the block in the center on the tall side. So there's 3 different levels on a block. You want it so that it's tall. And we're going to take our left hand and put it on the block. Now the trick here is keeping your knees so they're not collapsing and trying to come in. So imagine that you have imaginary blocks pressing against your knees to keep them open. Your hand is on the block. Now you know where I'm going. So you can hold your right hand onto your right knee, or you can take your arm up into the sky, or you can take your arm and put it on your waist. It probably the most accessible. Okay, good. You're up in the air. That's great. So your gaze is up at your hand and you're in a twist. You're in a forward bending, wide angle twist. And remember to keep those knees out. So here's where we check on everything. Now, if the shoulder is hurting at all or impinged, you can put your hand down, put it on the knee. It's about the twist, not the hand. So if you have it on the knee, you might even be able to use the knee to get leverage to bring that right shoulder more up towards the sky. And then come center, hands on both knees. Make sure your body's in alignment and place the right hand down on the block. And we'll do it on the other side. So again, you might want to hold your hand on the knee because it's not about the arm, it's really about the twist. So again, as we inhale, we get long and tall and strong. And as we exhale, we take the pose. Now your torso, check your wrist and your shoulder alignment. You want to make sure that your wrist is under your shoulder. So that bottom shoulder, the right hand shoulder, is over the block. So there's a twist right there before you even look up. You're not centered. Your shoulder comes towards the middle so that you can stack those shoulders. And bring the hand down onto the knees. We're going to keep our legs in this position. You can remove the block. Align yourself so your ribs are over your hips, which your shoulders are over your ribs. Take your arms into goddess pose. Now, when you come into goddess pose, you can actually feel the shoulders, the shoulder blades reaching for each other and going down your back. This is really a great pose to just practice while you're sitting in front of a computer, because it does the opposite. It's bringing your shoulders back. It's really great for posture. So arms up in goddess, and then inhale, get tall and strong. And as you exhale, we're going to turn towards the right. Inhale, come center, get tall and strong, and exhale, go towards the left. And we'll do that again. Come center, go to the right, come center, go to the left, come center. Hands on your knees, bring the legs together. We'll take our block. Since you have a block, we're going to be doing this. Let's just work the arms. So we work the legs by pressing the legs together with a block. This time, put the block in between your 2 prayer hands. Elbows up, shoulder height. So the block's literally like in front of your face, and press that block together. Squeeze your arms. This is really great for the arms, for the triceps, the biceps, forearms. Relax, but keep the block there. And let's squeeze one more time. Prayer position with a block. And release. Okay, let's go into our warrior flow. So we'll start on the right-hand side. So turn to the right so that your hip, your right hip is on the chair, your right leg is bent 90 degrees, ankle under the knee, but your left hip can sort of come down. Now, Marcia, you might want to block under that knee, under the left knee. If
Actually
you
able to do
can't,
this.
oh,
Yeah,
great. So you can take that back leg straight out.
yes.
Excellent. Okay. So back leg is straight out, 45 degrees. The right hand is behind you on the chair, holding the back of the chair, which will enable you to get that torso up straight, because it's a little hard. Our tendency would be to lean forward, but you want that torso up straight, and take your left hand, and bring it towards your heart center for half prayer. And we're in warrior one. I have to think where I'm going with this. Okay, then we're going to take our left hand and wheelhouse it back behind us. Take the leg before you bring that front arm out, and make sure your feet are pointed straight ahead so that your foot now is in a 90-degree angle, and the right hand comes out in front, and your drishti, or your gaze, your soft gaze, is over the front fingers. Your chest is wide and your torso is facing the front of the room in the same place that your toes are pointed, the back toes, and we're in warrior two. And we're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. This pose has so much strength built in it, because you got to keep those arms up, right, at shoulder height. Your fingers are strong and wide, and your gaze is over the front fingers. Allow your left hand to come down your leg as your right arm comes over the ear for peaceful warrior. So we're doing, if you notice in yoga, we did all of these warm-up poses, and we did a side bend, right? And now we're side bending in a peaceful warrior pose. So the compression is on the left, the stretch is on the right ribs, your chest is wide, your heart's open, and your gaze is really straight, like almost, towards your right arm. Your right arm now with a forearm comes onto the thigh for side angle pose as your left arm comes overhead. And you are in a straight line from the pinky toe side of the foot that you should be pressing down on that straight leg, to the tips of your fingers is one straight, beautiful line for side angle. We're going to wheelhouse the back arm so it's straight out. Take the right arm back up into warrior two, and we're just going to tip the arms over and bring the hand, actually, let's bring it. You might want the block for this, Marcia. So you might want to take the block behind by the pinky toe side of the bent foot, so that you can lean your hand down and your arms are straight up and down for triangle pose. I just took a class, I'm in a more yoga teacher training to become a 500-hour yoga teacher, and they talked about triangle. So I learned triangle, that the bottom hand is in front of the leg, and they said bring it behind you so the chest could actually be wider. And come back down, hands on your hips, bring the legs together, come sit in the chair facing forward, ankles underneath the knees. And this, let's see if you can do this one. We're going to come into pigeon. So your right ankle comes over the left leg. No?
I'll try. I had a bad back injury many years ago, and I get cramps in my left inner thigh from doing stuff
okay,
like that.
So let's do something else then, since it's only you and me.
Oh, no, I think you did it last time and I was able to do it, I think so.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to tell you that if this is a good one to do, if this is hard for you in the chair, it becomes easier if you're reclined. So when you're in bed in the morning or at night before you go to sleep, laying down, cross one leg over the other with the bent leg, so the sole's on the floor, and you can do reclined pigeon, which will be easier for you. And do the same thing about opening up the hip. So obviously you can do it.
I can do it.
Great. Okay, so we're using our forearm.
When I started chair yoga, I couldn't, so you've helped me already.
Yay, great. Okay, use your forearm to press the knee down so you get more of an opening, of course, no pain. Keep your foot flexed, and we're going to, at the hip crease, so not at the waist, but at the hip crease, lean forward just a little bit to give it a little bit more stretch in there. And this is just about opening up the hips. We'll do both sides now, and we'll end with eagle after we do the flow on the other side. and come back up. So release the foot, place the foot on the floor, and let's take the left foot and bring it up over the right thigh so that we can do pigeon on the other side. We're taking the forearm over the knee, the foot is flexed, we're holding the foot, pressing down just a little bit, whatever is comfortable, and we're leaning forward at the hip crease to get more of a stretch in there. And release. Okay, let's go to the other side. So we're turning now to the left, and once again, just make sure your left foot, that the ankle is under the knee. You're in a 90-degree angle there, angle, and you can take your right leg and bring it out. And if you have the same flexibility, Marcia, in this leg, we'll take a 45-degree angle on the foot, and the leg comes straight out behind us. Our left hand is holding the back of the chair. Our torso is up straight, and our torso is facing out by the knee. The knee also has to be like by the second toe. So you want to make sure that the knee stays over the foot always so you don't torque your knee. The right hand comes to the middle of the chest for prayer on this side. The gaze, or the drishti, is straight in front of you, not a hard focus, really a soft gaze. So we inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, and then wheelhouse our right arm behind us, our left arm out in front of us, the torso, the chest is wide, the heart is open, but our drishti and our gaze is over the front fingers, which looks out to the future. So the back hand, the right hand, is in the past, the front hand is facing the future, and we are gazing into the future, but our body is firmly in the present for warrior two. And when take that foot and make sure that your toes are now pointed straight ahead, because we don't want to torque the knee. Hold this, make sure your arms are strong, and then take your right hand, let it come down your leg as your left hand comes over for peaceful warrior. And we're in a side bend in peaceful warrior. Your gaze is up where the ceiling meets the wall. And then allow your left forearm to come onto the thigh as your right arm comes overhead, and you're in a straight line from the pinky toe side all the way to the tips of the fingers. And once again, your gaze is out where the wall and the ceiling meet in front of you. So there's no neck, pushing your neck back. The neck is long and straight. We're very careful about the neck in yoga. You want to make sure that it's in line with the spine most of the time. Take a deep breath here in side angle pose, and let's take the right hand and bring it back again behind you, and the left arm out in front of you, back in warrior two. Our gaze is over our fingers, out to the future. And this time, get that block handy and place it behind the front foot by the pinky toe side. Back up into warrior two arms. And this time, take the left hand, place it on the block, and the right hand comes up in a straight line for triangle pose. And once again, your chest is wide and open. Your gaze, the drishti, is up at the top fingers. You can say hi to yourself with your fingers. You want to look at those fingers. Now, if that hurts your neck in any way, then bring your gaze straight in front of you. Bring the left hand down, the right arm comes up, you're back in warrior two, hands to your hips, and let's bring the legs center and together this time. So we'll do a little eagle. I think, Marcia, you were able to do eagle. If you're able to do pigeon, I'm sure you're able to do eagle. We take the right hand, bring it out in front of you. The left hand comes up on top of the right, and we twist the arms and see if you can get those palms to touch. Yep, and then we lift up so that the elbows are together and up by shoulder height. And at the same time we're doing that, so we're holding the arms, this is a great shoulder stretch. You're going to take the right leg and twist it over the left, just like you're sitting in a cross-legged position, and then see if you can twist that foot around the left ankle. And
This is
now
something I
we
can
are. All right, but this is
really.
great to keep trying. This is a great
Yeah,
twist.
yeah.
And then I would have you take it further, which I won't do now, where you bend at the hip crease. But we will unwind the feet and unwind the arms and let yourself just sit for a moment just to get realigned, because it is a stretch in the opposite direction of the way we were stretching our shoulders. And then when you're ready, take the left hand out in front of you and the right hand comes on top of the left, and we twist those hands together and bring the elbows up. And if you can, take the left leg and bring it on top of the right and twist it around the ankle for eagle on this side. I remember, like in leadership, when I was working in business, they always used to say, eagles don't flock. You're allowed to fly alone. Unwind the bottom leg. It's a great saying. And let the arms come and let them come down. Stretch out those shoulders. If you can, clasp your hands behind you, and then bend at the elbow so you have room to bring those shoulders. You know what, Marcia, see if you can do this. Can you take your hands, here, I'll show you. Can you bring your hands to prayer position behind your back?
No.
Okay. It's a good thing to try. I used to try this in the shower. I couldn't do it for years. So don't feel bad, but it is something to keep trying.
I have severe arthritis in my hands. So
Okay, in your hands.
my hands, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I should talk to you
systemic
about.
arthritis.
So you
No,
in
go ahead.
pain a lot? Are your joints in pain a lot?
Yeah, I'm under the care of a rheumatologist now. I mean,
Okay.
it's a long story.
All right. Okay. So let's get up for tree. Be okay. You can undo the hands. We're going to stand, come near the chair so you can grab it. Find your grounding in the floor. Press the feet into the floor. You know what? We'll do what I do in mat class about Tadasana. Tadasana is mountain pose when you're just standing. So press your feet into the floor. See if you can get all four sides of the foot into the floor evenly, and then lean forward. So you're leaning on the balls of your feet and feel what that feels like to be off the heels almost. And then come back around and go on the heels and almost like the balls of the feet are off. And then find the center. Lift the toes up and you can actually feel the quads and the knees lift and the quads engage. Press the toes back down. And now shift the weight onto the left foot as you then take the right foot, come up to the ball of the foot, turn the heel so it's on the inside of the ankle, and see if you can lift that foot up somewhere to the inside of the leg. You can hold on to the chair, even if it's down by the ankle, and even if the ball of the foot is still on the floor, it's all good. But take the knee out to its side. Hands can go to heart center. Hands can hold the chair. Hands could wave in the wind like branches. Hands can now clasp behind you, which there's a little bit more room to clasp. So your shoulders come back. Your choice on the hands. It's an expression, whatever feels good. As we hold the pose, try not to let the hip jut out. You want that left hip straight, your body aligned. It's very easy to jut that left hip out, but I'd rather have you hold the chair and keep the hip straight. And allow the right leg to come down and just feel what it feels like to press both feet into the ground and get even again. And let's go to the other side. So this time you're going to hold the chair with the right hand and shift the weight into the right foot. As you bring the left foot up to the ball of the foot, turn the heel so it's inside the inside of the leg, and bring the foot up wherever it's comfortable into tree pose. I know that I can do tree on this side a lot easier than I can do tree on the other side, but just be careful not to jut that hip out, and your hands can come into any position that feels right. Take a few breaths here. It's really important to balance because, as you know, we're all at risk of falling as we age. And you are young, Marcia, but
My back injury, I was walking with a cane dragging my left leg for 3 months, so I've recovered most of the
right.
function of my left leg. So
Okay. Well, it's just so important because balance is, you lose your balance, you fall, and we know how long a recuperation is, right? Okay, you can allow that leg to come back down, and we'll take a seat, and we're ready for Shavasana. So do you have a pillow today?
Yep.
Okay, so place the pillow on your lap. I'm really surprised that I think both of these two people paid me. It's
Wow.
bizarre. Okay, whatever. So you got a private on your birthday. How do you like that?
I'm very appreciative that you held the class.
Okay. So pillow on your lap, hands open, palms open if you'd like. You can cup your hands together, whatever feels good. I like to close the energy of my body. So it does resonate with me and it feels the right way to have my thumbs touch and my hands cupped. And you're going to lean back on the back of the chair because this is the relaxation part. And it's in yoga. So it's so important. It's not about like falling asleep or it should be active relaxation. You want your body to integrate all the movements we just did. So you have a choice. You can close your eyes. We're back to the theme of drishti and gaze, or feel free to keep your eyes open and just sort of find a focal point, but not really focus. This is a very soft gaze where you take in everything around the focal point, and it allows you to go inward. This is about going inward. We're going to close our eyes or take the soft gaze, and then you're going to scan the body for tension. So we're going to be a little bit of a tension hunter and try to relax something. I know that as I said that, I felt that my thighs were really tense and pushing together and my glutes in the chair. So you want to just try to relax something. So start at your feet, try to feel for any tension and try to just relax whatever it is. Could be your arms. People feel tension in their belly, in their chest, in their jaw, but work your way up your body and relax something. If the goal is to find some place that needs relaxation, see if you can find somewhere. And we'll be here for a few moments. So, Marcia, if you don't want to stay here, you're welcome to stay here. Otherwise, you can start just wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. And you can remove the pillow if you'd like. Come back up to center. Bring your hands to heart center. And not only do I want to say happy birthday, but namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. And I'm honored that you chose to be here today. So I
I'm honored that you
appreciate it.
chose
Thank you.
the class, given it's only one person. So thank you.
And I didn't even know it was your birthday. So you got a private on your birthday.